Welcome, meditators. Welcome back. This is Essentials of Meditation. I believe this is number 13. It could be number 14. Today, we'll look at the concept of free will very briefly. This is, I know, a very popular thing to talk about. There's a lot of discussion about it. I want to just define it very quickly and then try to put it into context for meditation. So, free will means really that you could have done otherwise if you rewound the universe, 10 seconds or 20 seconds from now, that somehow, like say that verbal flub that I just made, that I could have chosen otherwise. In other words, I could make different decisions if we had taken the universe back a year or a month or a day, that somehow I'm free to make different decisions. Now, this is based upon the idea that the individual is really separate from everything else. That's the only way it could work, and it wouldn't even work then. But rather than thinking about yourself as a thing in an environment, think about ourselves. It's more helpful to think of ourselves as an event in a series of events, or an event enfolded within other events. Consider a round of applause. What is a round of applause? It's a bunch of individuals clapping, and it creates a sound. Each individual clap creates a sound, and each clap has a very short duration, but as there's many hands, it ripples out. So a round of applause isn't a thing; it's an event. Uh, Another one we could think about is a flock of birds. When you walk past and disturb a flock of birds and they fly away, each one of those birds moving, of course, is an individual within the flock, but the flock of birds moving is an event again. So we, in our lives, if you take the magnification level out even more, we come into being. We have a duration in our lives in which many things happen, other smaller events within our lives, and then we dissolve in much the same way that a wave arises on the ocean and then a wave dissolves. And the sun and the moon and wind and all kinds of things are conspiring and cooperating to create the conditions for a wave to arise and then a wave to subside. It's the same with us. If we asked, could the wave have risen differently? The answer is no. The wave is nothing but a reaction to, and also creating reactions of itself in the water around it. And that's the same condition for human beings. So let's bring this now into a meditative context. When we, for some period of time in meditation, are able to focus our mind and just feel sensation in this case, rather than defaulting back to the thinking process, which is habitual and reflexive, to the degree that we can do that successfully, it cannot be otherwise. And to the degree that you are distracted today or any other day, it cannot be otherwise. There's no way for you to go back and try it again to see if you could do better. Your capacity for that behavior today and tomorrow or the next day will be a little different. And there's really nothing we can do about that, but we can still practice. We can still sit down and notice. And that's what we're going to do today. So take a comfortable seat. You can close your eyes. Take a moment just to allow the ears to open and receive sound. The words you're hearing are also an event, and your reactions to them are an event. See if you can identify as the backdrop, as the landscape behind the figure, as the receiver, the noticer, in this case of sound. So the sounds that are arising and dissolving outside you, and the events, which we could call thoughts or thinks, that are arising inside you, consider them to be of the same kind, just waves, disturbances, or events. Let's take 1 minute here. And now you can bring your attention to the pulsation of your breath. And now, can you reverse your identification from that of one who is receiving the breath or doing the breath to the breath? Your primary identification for this meditation now is you are the breath. You are moving in and out. And when there are no disturbances, when there are no inhales and exhales, in the same way that the waters can be calm without disturbances, yet still exist, you too are that. And now, as you breathe voluntarily again to begin to conclude our meditation, just feel the texture of the air, the temperature. And we give thanks to that underlying supportive force, which we feel and which we actually are. And as you're ready, you can begin to open the eyes. And thanks very much again for attending. I'll see you tomorrow.